My only advice for everybody out there who is looking for this kind of option is that don't go with somebody who is famous in the field. Go with somebody who you are comfortable with, and that was our approach. When we first talked to Dennis, it was very clear, as I said, like we were comfortable talking to him. He answered all our questions. And of course, compare the options. You have there are plenty of options out there, and all of those are like great attorneys, no doubt. And be prepared. Like when you have this kind of conversation, go with your ready set of questions which you want to ask, so that you can learn something from that conversation. I can't even count. We spoke with a lot of different regional centers, at least one conversation, and obviously we went with EB5AN, your regional center. And I think first and foremost thing for us, which clicked very well, was the focus on educating the investors themselves. Your website, and I did mention this like last year as well. I know like your website has a lot of information, great information. So that focus on educating the investors, that really clicked. I did not find any other regional center with that kind of depth, that kind of information. So that was really important, and that worked very well. So all the testimonials, like this conversation that we are having, like we went through a lot of other testimonials that were there in your website back then, and that worked well. So if I speak about the project as well, so Twin Lakes. So I invested in Fund 4, which I understand is the last fund for this particular project. So before me, there were like 350 other investors already, and that itself is a big deal, right? 350 people believed in the project, and therefore they invested in it. So that was like a great motivating factor for me at least. And then of course this whole Chris Wind brand, the Coulter brand. I went through a lot of testimonials back then as well, and I generally search on the websites, internet as well. In general, I thought the reputation Coulter has is pretty clean, pretty decent. They have the history of returning whatever money they borrowed from the investors. Projects seem to be doing pretty good as well, as per and I'm somebody who monitors that very closely. And I think as per the latest stats, Twin Lakes have sold like about more than 700 homes out of the 1,300 that they originally planned. So it looks like it's going in a right direction. And enough jobs has already been created. So and in fact for the Fund 4, my understanding is that about for the first 30 odd investors, or 30 to 40, I think the jobs are already there, so which is a good thing, because 5 to 6 is just is one of the two main milestones. The second milestone is to remove that condition. So this is itself was a great motivating factor, that a lot of jobs has been created. And even for the ongoing fund, you are moving pretty quickly towards creating jobs for all the 100 investors. And the fact that it's a rural project, that was also obviously an important criteria, is the key reason why we got approved in the time frame we got approved in. I think the first and foremost is that you have to pick the project carefully. That is the key piece. So do all as much research as you can in figuring that piece out, because ultimately all investments has risk. But as long as you pick the project right, at least you can hope to get your investment back. Even if it takes like couple of extra years than some of the more riskier project, I would say that's still better than not getting anything at all. So yes, I mean, definitely this first step of carefully picking the project is very important. Once that is done, then obviously the second step, which you should be doing in parallel as well, that which attorney you should be working with. And as I said, I would not personally go with somebody who is famous, but I would go with somebody who I am convenient, I am comfortable talking with, and that would be my recommendation for anyone out there as well who is looking for an attorney. And be prepared when you have these conversations with the prospective attorneys. Be prepared with the kind of questions you have, and that's your opportunity to really understand the attorney and to understand like what he or she can do for you. So that's the second most important thing. So project selected, attorney selected, and then the third thing, which also I would say we need to do all in parallel, is make sure that you have clarity on your funds. Because I know there are some investors who who wants to invest a partial amount, and then after certain months, they want to add more. I would say make sure that you have full clarity on how you will be coming up with that amount, whether it's 800K or 1 million, depending on the project you are choosing. But you need to have full clarity on day one that this will be my source of fund, because ultimately you have to prove that. You have to give all those details to USCIS, who will ultimately be reviewing all those details very carefully, based on which they will be giving the approval. So these three things: project, attorney, your source of funds, clarity. I think these three things are very important. Once you have that, then the process is pretty straightforward.